going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video. Merry Christmas, and we're going to be talking about Soul. I'm really excited to be talking about this movie. It's the latest Disney Pixar film that was supposed to be going to theaters, and it was actually getting a release today on Christmas on Disney+. It's currently 4:40 in the morning, just finished watching the film, and yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I felt like this was a movie that really spoke to my soul and is going to speak to a lot of people. Once again, Disney and Pixar come together to just give us a great story about life and death and what it means to live. Pixar is always great at giving really strong, message-heavy films that give you something to think about after you've watched their films. And this one is no different. By the end of this movie, all I could think about was that I really want to rewatch this movie because there are so many little things, so many little moments of metaphors, whether it's visual or dialogue-based, that really just help sell the message of this movie. Because of the marketing for this film, I think, has been pretty vague. I don't really want to get too deep into anything about this movie. But the basic premise of this movie is you have the character of Joe Gardner, played by Jamie Foxx, who is this middle school jazz teacher, band teacher, but he's this musician. He has this passion and love for jazz and has always wanted to make it big in that world. He's always wanted to make it big in music. He loves it so, so much. And he just kind of has this very discouraged, disappointed view of his life, where he's gone, what he's been able to achieve through music, and what he's constantly kind of chasing. Not too long into the film, he ends up getting the gig of a lifetime, and right after ends up dying. And this is a movie about him in the afterlife, essentially trying to get back into his body, trying to get back to the real world, because he was finally going to be able to live his dream. And I'm not going to say anything else other than that. That is the basic setup of the film. But yeah, this is a movie that on the outside could be viewed as simply a movie about finding your purpose and you know, a dream to kind of be driven by, the thing that gives you a spark in life. But beyond that, it's mainly at its core about living and the difference between living and just being alive. This is a movie that by the end of it, it made me just realize what I've realized kind of in the last couple of years in my own life, which is just to kind of enjoy the little moments. I'm a person who came out of high school with dreams. I wanted to be a musician, so I was in a band, and I thought that I was going to be able to take off not too long after high school. And people always kind of, you know, had discouraging words here and there, but I was driven, and then things kind of crumbled, and I kind of dropped out of the world creatively for a long time. And then I started this channel, and even with this channel, I've had moments where I've allowed myself to kind of lose the fun element of what this channel has been about and kind of feel discouraged. And I think that this movie reminded me that life is going to be filled with moments that are going to feel disappointing or discouraging. But when you look back at the last few years, or the years that you kind of sometimes remember as being disappointing or discouraging years, there are always these memories and these moments, even in those times that kind of feel like discouraging, disappointing times, that remind you how good those times were. Maybe you go look back to rough times, but you can kind of pull all the great moments, the memories, the relationships, the friendships, and that stuff reminds you of what it is to live and the difference between, again, living and being alive. I think this movie definitely reminded me that sometimes we can be so trapped and lost in our own head and constantly chasing something, chasing a dream, chasing goals. But when you look back at the memories, whether or not you achieve those goals, there are almost always great things you can pull from it. Again, whether it's friends, maybe it's a job you had at the time, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's somewhere you went, a vacation, you know, time spent with certain people, maybe even just those memories you have with friends back in the day, just sitting in a parking lot, just hanging out. I think that this movie at its core is really mainly about reminding yourself to just take a moment and live sometimes. It's so easy to just get lost in just chasing and trying to become something and trying to achieve certain dreams and goals. And it's great to just take a moment and really think about life and just look around and be at peace with where you are in life right now. And one thing for me that it really definitely spoke to was a few years back, a little bit over 2 years now at this point, I had 2 anxiety attacks for the first time in my entire life. And I didn't really know how to handle that at the time. I just remember that it kind of just came out of nowhere. And I was always kind of a laid back, chill guy, but I've realized that I've allowed stress in the last maybe 5 to 6 years to build up in this very kind of, you know, negative way, and it affected me negatively. And I have these moments nowadays where I'm walking around and I just kind of look around, you know, maybe I'm just walking into work, I'm leaving work, maybe I'm walking my dog, and I just look around and kind of just look at the trees, look at the birds, look at the sky, you know, and it sounds, you know, kind of silly, but there are these moments where I just kind of realize, anytime I feel really anxious, to just kind of look around and just relax and just kind of embrace the moment, embrace the breeze, embrace the sun, whatever it is in that moment that is just kind of, peaceful. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes we forget that. And this movie, again, reminded me of that. And again, it's really a movie about living and not just being alive, not just being lost in the monotony of life, So yeah, that's going to be my general thoughts on this movie. I don't want to get too much deeper into the narrative. I think that this movie was beautifully animated. This movie was very well done as far as the voice acting. And it's a movie, again, that at its core has so many great messages that I really do look forward to watching it again. It was directed by Pete Docter, who is very well known for having directed like Inside Out, Up, and Monsters Incorporated. 3 other great Pixar films that, again, have really great messages at the core of the film. This is a movie I do highly recommend. I think that if you're looking for something that just kind of reminds you what it is to live in such an intelligent and clever way, I think that this movie definitely hits the nail right on the head. I think this is a movie I highly recommend people checking out, and I definitely look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. So hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed the video. Comment your thoughts, and please do subscribe if you guys are interested in more videos. I thought that Wonder Woman was going to be dropping at the exact same time on HBO Max, but it actually is dropping at noon today on Christmas. So as of filming this, I'm about to go to sleep after I get this video up, and then I'm actually going to be going to see Wonder Woman in theaters because I had tickets for a 10:45 a.m. showing, so I'll be able to see it prior to it dropping on HBO Max. So a big thanks to you guys for watching, and I definitely look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on this movie, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.